Yeah, I agree. The ironic thing here is that if he played better, so to speak, at the beginning and focused on the destroyers, the game wouldn't have lasted as long, which means he wouldn't have gotten as much damage as many kills. So that's kind of ironic, isn't it? All right. So clan battle, APOC dash. Ducky, do you remember which league this was? Was this in Hurricane or was this in Gale? Double Des Moines and a Zhao. They've got a Moskva. Okay. Thanks, by the way, for sending this. I'm always looking for some good clan battles here. Ooh. Camo actually goes really well with this map, and even though I hate Islands of Ice with a passion. So Montana, quite possibly the best, if not one of the best battleships for clan battles. Obviously 12 barrels is pretty awesome and intimidating, and you can do a lot of stuff against cruisers, and because of the way the game is set up, you can only take one battleship into clan battles, so that means that you're going to be facing a lot of cruisers, a lot of destroyers. But mostly cruisers. Flag setup, Juliet Charlie for no detonations, fire reduction, speed for better maneuvering, consumable, reload, secondaries, ramming, flood reduction, and repair booster. All good flags to be running for clan battles. You know, I just noticed this. The secondaries look different than all the other USN. I've never noticed that before. Huh. That's cool. Which camo is this anyway, Dougie? Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm just checking back in. So this is a Typhoon battle. They're in struggle for Hurricane League. Alright. So let's talk about their lineups and strategies. Absolutely. Let's take a look at this. So when we're in a situation here, you're up against... Come on. Okay, there we go. So Montana. Most of the time Montanas on this map are going to be kind of mid to see where the enemy goes and deal with it. Most of the time. Sometimes you see a Montana. We've seen Montana go up north. We've seen Montana go south. So you never know. Des Moines. Des Moines is really powerful up here, and it's also really powerful here, or maybe behind one of these two islands. So you have to be thinking about where's the Des Moines going to be. Moskva, well, there's really only a couple islands Moskva can go. Probably this one, maybe this one, but probably this one. Because it's got longer radar, but it's so much longer than the Des Moines, and it doesn't have the ability to turn as much as easily. Des Moines thrives in situations when enemies are forced to push into it, which is why I said right here is a very powerful spot for Des Moines, and possibly here as well. Of course, with the radar, you can control the cap that way. Hindenburgs. I would expect to see Hindenburgs at least one south, one north, if not both in one of those two directions. Hindenburgs are good for long-range fire spam. They've got pretty decent armor maneuverability, but their real bread and butter is range. Zhao. Now, Zhao, I would almost expect to see the Zhao up in the northern islands up here. And then Shimakaze. Shimakaze, two choices. One, bum rush into sea. I think it can beat the Yu Yang in a sea cap. Option B would be to stay in the middle and just spam torps through the middle. Oh, it's the Twitch camo. Got it. So, and guys in chat, feel free to comment if you feel like I'm kind of explaining that right, or if you think that I should be thinking differently. Please mention that. As far as Ducky's setup, you've got a Hindenburg and Zao going north. Looks like double Des Moines going south. Personally, I'd rather see a Des Moines going up here with these two to back them up. Des Moines, Zao, Hindenburg up north is incredibly strong. Incredibly strong. If you're going to put that much resources south, you have to win CCAP. That's basically it. So you're giving yourself this ultimatum of, I have to win this cap. Sounds like ZR's strategy as well. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's talk about real quick to Yu Yang. Ducky, is the Yu Yang radar or smoke? If you don't want to share, that's fine. We'll find out soon enough. If the Yu Yang's got radar, that could be a very powerful way to help deny C-cap. If he's got smoke, he can smoke himself, he can smoke cruisers, and pew-pew and stuff. So, either one of those are possibilities for the Yu Yang. Alright, let's play it out and see how the game unfolds. It's smoke, okay. So if the Yu Yang is smoke, Smoked Yu Yang. Yeah, by the way, you see how the Hindenburg here is going in the mid? So you're sending this Hindenburg to kind of float about and see what's going on. Enderland is in the Zao, pinging, most likely pinging radio location direction, so over here from him. So that means the ship going over here. Yeah, Smoke Yu Yang should definitely be escorting one of the Des Moines. Not sure what the plan is going up north like that for the Yu Yang that far. Especially if they've got a Moskva, he can be spotted real easy with radar from here, and a Des Moines too. It definitely looks like he's doing something ballsy up north. We'll have to see. Alright, well there's Shimakaze clearly went for C-cap. There's the Des Moines behind that island I was mentioning. He can just turn south now, nestle up against that island, and really there's not much to take him out. And there's... Alright, I'm going to slow down the action here. So there's a Shimakaze. It's lit up by Des Moines radar. This Hindenburg probably has shots here. This guy definitely does, if he pops spotter plane and if he's not too far past the island. So it'll be interesting to see. Montana spotted. That's interesting. He's so far up north. That means that they're probably going to push the Montana far north and win the flank up here, which means these two guys need to immediately start thinking, or at least very soon, to see how he commits. If he goes up north, they've got to be ready to turn around. Well, yeah, you're definitely putting the majority of the effort here on the south. So you have to win the south now. Shots out on the Hindenburg. Montana's turning in. Okay. $6K. Yeah, I do agree, Edge. The Zao is a little bit too far back, but maybe with the spotting of that Montana, he was a little bit hesitant to get too far forward. Because if Zao gets picked up too far forward, he's effed. Yeah, I don't know that. See, so the Hindenburg up north there is exactly where Des Moines should be. And I think as a Hindenburg, he should be where the Zhao is, and I think the Zhao should be in between those two ships. Basically. That's fine, Ducky. Go right ahead. Now you've got, yeah, those two. You are in a perfect position to start smacking those guys around. Yep, top has to push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships visible south. There's the Zhao. That's the only ship that's up north. So Edge is absolutely correct. This is a good position for north to be pushing. And they have to. More importantly, they can start getting some broadside shots on the Montana from his back as well. And you're taking some hits now. You're pretty far up forward. I'd like to be seeing the Des Moines being willing to come in with you. The Hindenburg that's up by your U8, I don't know what those two are doing, your Yu-Yang and Hindenburg. I mean, the Yu-Yang can be going for torps on those two ships, sure. But I do like how their Montana is being escorted by a cruiser, and unfortunately you are just by yourself. I mean, you have a Des Moines with you too, I suppose, nearby, but the big question is where are the torps going to be coming from? If I'm the Shimakaze, I'm in one of two spots. I'm up here in the north now, or I'm way down here at the southern flank, seeing that those two Des Moines are there, and I'm in a position to fire torps in. Yu Yang is smoking up the Hindenburg. Yes, he is. And yes, from a distance, it can be detected quite easily from shots and smoke. So that's why he's so far back. But I'd rather see him smoking up one of the Des Moines or the Zhao than the Hindenburg. Hindenburg, as a Hindenburg player, I want to be shot at because I can mitigate damage. I want my lighter ships, quote unquote, like the Des Moines, to be taking the hit, or not to be taking the hits. Here comes a heal. Now we saw torps up north, so I think the Shima went back into the mid. And you just fired and didn't get detected. There's torps. Okay, so Shimakaze is still kind of in the relative spot, and he's torping this way. I'm gonna kind of leave you for a little bit. We're gonna take a look at what's going on with the rest of the battle. So Moskva is behind Moskva Island. There's Lightninger there. That Montana needs to die if you're gonna do okay here. He needs to be dead. The Zhao should have shots on them, and we can't tell because of the way the replay works. This Hindenburg, I don't know if he's available for doing much. I agree. The Yu Yang, I think, is playing a little bit too passively. If he's gonna run smoke, he needs to be smoked up or smoking up somebody else, working together as a team. You're now located, which means that the Shimakaze has probably shifted south and is picking you up on radio location. Alright, Zhao does not have shots on him anymore as the Montana continues to reverse. Good. Okay, that's really important. You need to get him off the board. Okay, so it's interesting that this Hindenburg came all the way back south again, is now equally matching this one. Torps coming in from the Yu Yang on the Des Moines. And Ducky are now calling out that this Hindenburg needs to die. To be honest, man, I'm not sure if you were aiming for him or not earlier, but I mean, he was prime for getting wailed on by you. Ooh, you just citadeled something. Looks like the Des Moines. As the Des Moines reverses, those torps will not hit. Yeah, that was Des Moines you smacked. DCP time. You're not running fire prevention, that's interesting. Ooh, big hit. Now, you're kind of backing yourself into a spot here where you can't. You're forced to move forward. You're forced to engage. You don't want to engage all three of these ships at the same time. You kind of have to now. The Shima kept on shooting into the side. I'm betting the Shima's down by the Moskva at this point. I'm betting that here come the torps. So the Shima torqued from over here. And this is what I mean about, like, these two Des Moines here. They're not really doing much. Okay, so Shima's going back center now. Shima's going back up into mid, and you're dead. Yeah, getting the Monty dead first does help, but man, smacking that Hindenburg would have been glorious too. Oh boy, you guys are not looking good though. 937 to 701. Yeah, I don't know. I would have liked to have seen these two Des Moines moving forward too and applying pressure. I mean, alright, at least the Hindenburg's dead. Shimakaze spotted. Okay, Shimakaze needs to be the focus for everybody. Enderlin's firing. Okay. These two need to be shooting as well. Like Edge said, there's absolutely no pressure up north. You guys have completely ignored this Zao up north, which is fine. But these two are the new targets, and these Hindenburgs have range. Yep, Gam's way too passive. Push was started too late. Yep. Should have ducked south of, yeah. So he should have been here, right? Positioning wise, should have been down about here. Oh man, why did he take that torp? That might be enough to cause him to flood out. Yeah, we should have seen some movement to A. C is being capped. I don't like your Yu Yang's positioning. Your Yu Yang should be down here to at least spot these cruisers, if nothing else, but also sending deep water torps. You've got a Zhao and a Hindenburg that are going to get into A cap before the Yu Yang anyways. So that's a real big waste of resources up here. Now the nice thing is getting an A now means that they have no point gain. And this Hindenburg is trying to do something, so Lead is trying to make something happen. Here comes the Moskva. And now what we're getting is we're getting separated fire. We need one target mentioned, and that's it. And I would think it would be this Hindenburg. Good hit. Hindenburg's gone. That's it. Well. Comments, guys? I'm already kind of seeing a bunch in the chat here. I'll try to relay some of them as they come in. And I do need Montana for the wiki, so let's see if I put this in here. It was an impressive throw by APOC, yeah. It felt like APOC was, they were aggressive in some places, not aggressive in others, and I think they were too afraid to engage. And then they got over aggressive. I think in both situations, both teams, their destroyers really didn't do much to help. Sure, the Shima got the torp kill on you, but I don't know. I feel like the Shima should have gone mid after capping C. Instead, he just stayed, and we saw torps after torps going around and doing nothing. Air denial torp. So sure, I guess you denied the area, but yeah. Montana did not need to push. Definitely should not have pushed without the support of the other two cruisers, though. They had the cap advantage, so all they needed to do was wait. That's a really good point. You had C cap, you had I don't remember which one it is, B cap on the north. So yeah, you kind of have to recognize that situation and say, well, they're gonna have to come to me, right? Oh. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about late in the game. Yeah, early game, the Shimakaze, when he capped C cap, they had the 2 cap advantage. Yeah, so the APOC Montana, you're right, did not have to push. I think both situations we saw the Montanas kind of pushing when they didn't need to. And yeah, the APOC Montana that pushed in. So that Montana's positioning, I know the minimap's not up anymore, but that Montana's positioning, you know what I can do? I can do this. Maybe. I'm gonna switch to did I switch? Okay, good. Yeah, you see it now. So the Montana, when the Montana came in this channel here, he screwed himself because he was forced to back up or go forward and die. Either way, he's gonna die, right? If he goes this way up north, he exposes a lot of broadside to you. And if he goes south, he exposes a lot of broadside to these guys. So he was in a bad position there. He should have, at that point, either ducked south here, or he could have gone farther north and won the northern flank at that point. You're not seeing the cursor. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what else I can do to try to show that that stuff here, but 'cause I'm not in the game. I could just load it back up again real quick. Let's load it back up again. Yeah, I could do the WAS tactic thing, but the problem is then you have to set up so that it, your screen is whatever's up there and stuff like that. And I don't know that I have that all set up properly, so I'll just go back into it. We can watch it again, and I'm not gonna do it the same speed. Okay, I'm gonna keep the mini map. I can't switch the map view, but I'll make the mini map as big as possible as we go through here. All right. So when the Montana goes into here, he's got basically Yu Yang torps. He's got cruiser spam, and he's got Ducky, who was down about here. All shooting at him. So he was forced in a bad spot. He basically had to reverse. Honestly, he should have kind of floated around here more, because then he has the flexibility of ducking behind this island, or this island as necessary. Now watch these two Des Moines. They just kind of set up shop and they don't really move, which is a bit of a problem. Here's the Montana coming in. If he stayed right there, brilliant location. But he didn't. He kept moving forward. Gonna stop here or slow, go back to regular. Edge case, my non-professional opinion. One, North guys had brain fart, didn't follow through once fighting was started. You're talking about these guys up on the north flank over here, right? Who could have pushed north into A, but instead they chose to stay up there and then kind of do whatever. Push call started way too late. Timer was already, yeah, things were desperate because of that push. Absolutely. Ducky says he went for the trade with the Des Moines because he had position on the middle. That is true-ish, but think about how his turrets were positioned. His rear is the only one that could really get involved in the middle. If he exposed any more of his ship, he'd just get punished by the people in the middle. We need to make a full push in the future, make sure that we get radar coordinated to keep Shima at bay. Yeah, that's true. You definitely want to be pushing with your cruisers. Alright, going back into speed, so once again, here's the big mistake. APOC sitting out here. Yu Yang was able to fire... Oops. Alright, so Yu Yang is able to fire torps. That's going to convince these guys to move, and I just screwed up the replay. Alright, guys, anything else you want to talk about real quick before we move on to the next one? I hit the end key by accident, which is a fun little bug that completely freezes everything on the mini-map and everything else in the UI. So now we can't see Jack. But it's kind of funny, I kind of froze it at the moment that APOC really screwed up. So, anything else you want to share about this replay before we move on to the next? Yeah, the water's on fire. Good stuff. What about the Yu Yang Otaro? SAT saying, be careful about your 2 DM tactics, 2 double DM setup. Would you like to expand on that, sir? Yeah, Des Moines aren't good for pushing. Like I said at the beginning of the original replay, they're best for when they're getting pushed. They're terrible for pushing at things.
Enemy battleships sunk.
Alright, yeah, and the Yu Yang's in a bad spot too. I'm just gonna fast forward and get yourself killed. Here he comes. Nope. See what I mean? Like, you can't even see, like, it's just so freaking screwed up.
We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Oh yeah, there's the part where he died. Okay, cool. I know, isn't it hilarious? That's a wonderful bug. It really screws with me, especially when I'm doing screenshots for the wiki, and of course this replay theater I have to be really careful with too, so... Oh well. Well, Ducky, thank you so much for sending that replay, though. That was awesome to be able to share another replay. You know, definitely a very competitive game, definitely a game that, you know, mistakes were made on both sides. I think we can learn from those mistakes and get good. TM. Belgrath requested the black, so I'll play the black next.